There are some movements and techniques that prove extra frustrating, even for advanced dancers, to master. This is because there are some movements in our dance that to truly master, you need a deeper understanding of internally what's happening, how you're using your breath, how you're positioning your body, how you're engaging and using your muscles. And the best example of this is the belly flutter. This is my #1 most requested tutorial, is to learn how to do the belly flutter. So today I'm going to give you a very short intro on understanding this move, how it works, how you can practice, and eventually, hopefully, be able to master it someday. Let's start. First thing, let's actually learn about the part of the body we're using, how those muscles work, so that we can understand what we're actually trying to do when we do the belly flutter movement. So obviously we have our abdominal muscles, which come in separate groups. The rectus we have down the front, we have our obliques, we have our transverse abdominals. All of these parts of the abdominals help us with different movements to create different ranges of motion and movements through our trunk. So through our core, our abdomen. And when we go into the flutter, we are also working with the diaphragm, which is we can say like a parachute shaped muscle that's inside of our rib cage. This muscle has a lot to do with how we breathe. When we inhale and our lungs fill with air, this muscle goes down. As we exhale, this muscle helps to push all of the air out. This is one reason why understanding the internal mechanics will help you to get this movement eventually, because a lot of people make the mistake of taking a deep breath in and trying to move their belly, or taking deep breaths in and out and trying to move the belly. So what we want to create first is what we call a vacuum. That vacuum is being created when the diaphragm pushes up and all of a sudden we have this empty cavity kind of under and inside our rib cage. So the first movement that we need to practice is this, the vacuum, getting that feeling, getting that space. So the first thing I'm gonna do, I'll inhale all my air and exhale all my air, hold my breath with no air in the lungs, and then I'm gonna try to pull in and out with my belly. Okay, step two. Step 2 is that we want to do the same thing, but I want you to be a little more mindful of what your abs are doing and what your ribs are doing. To get an extra size to this movement, I like to think about my abs pulling in and up diagonally, and I think about opening my ribs. So as I'm doing that pull in with my belly, I'm thinking about not just pulling in, I'm thinking about pulling my belly diagonally in and up, widening my ribs. Okay, so let's try it like that. This is the base movement we want to do. And this is exactly how you should start at the beginning practicing. You want to get used to this movement. You want to get used to your muscles engaging and working in this way before you start the full flutter, okay? Now, going into the flutter itself, what I like to do personally is I like to hold in and up with my ribs open. So I do the exhale, I hold in and up, and then from here you can put your fingers right on your upper belly, in between and kind of below your sternum, in between the ribs, below the sternum, and I just do tiny pulses down. So what do I mean by pulses? I'm keeping the tension in my abdominals and I'm doing a micro release and contracting again like this. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. When our abs are retracted back like this, our skin and our belly fat is hanging loose, separated from our muscle. So every little drop is gonna send a little flicker of movement down through the abdominals, okay? So let's try this. Eventually, you'll be able to speed it up like this. One thing that I want to mention, I know I'm just really condensing this into a very short explanation, but different people do have different approaches, especially when it comes to the use of breath. Some people do quick breaths in and out to create this movement. Some people always completely hold their breath when they do this movement. Personally, this move, along with a lot of my other belly movements, I try to disconnect from my breath so that I can do the move while I talk, while I breathe. But again, making sure that I'm not totally filling the lungs with a deep breath because I don't want to push down and lose that space here for the movement. So I tend to breathe up here, short, high breaths, so that I can keep my belly muscles moving separate from my breath and my voice. Let me know in the comments if this little tutorial kind of made something click or helped you understand the movement better. If you want to dig deeper into abdominal technique, I humbly invite you to join my online school. We have a lot of tutorials based on this subject. Abdominals and how we use them in the dance for me is like a super important element technically, but also a hugely beneficial element of the dance. It can strengthen our core, help with our back, help with our posture, help with our connection with our belly and pelvis, which is so important as humans. So I hope to see you there. And if you want a little shorter tutorial right here on YouTube, talking more about the lower belly and how it connects to the pelvis, check out my recent video on one move I think all belly dancers should know, where we dig into this movement and why it's important for us in our dance. I'll see you in the next video.